Hello dear viewer, today we're going to talk about a PC game, and I don't really get into the whole battle between PC and console. I generally prefer console, but I go wherever the games are. Same with brand loyalty. Like, I have a lot of PlayStation 2 games, I've got a lot of Sega Master System games, but with every generation, I just go where the games are. Sometimes PlayStation has them, sometimes Xbox has them, sometimes Nintendo has them. I'm not picky. I have been fascinated with Dwarf Fortress ever since I found out about it from a non-gaming YouTube channel called This Exists. If you've never seen This Exists, it's a YouTube channel that dives into the strange things that shouldn't exist, and Dwarf Fortress was one of those topics. If you're not familiar with Dwarf Fortress, it's a game where you start off with 7 dwarves, and your goal is to survive as long as possible by setting up a fortress. There are so many strange things that are happening that just by playing the game, you're creating an interesting story and you may not even realize it's happening. For example, one of the times I agonized over learning to play the game, my wife popped in and said, "How's the Dwarf Fortress going?" And I replied, "I'm pretty sure my blacksmith is a were-rabbit and a bunch of kids are traumatized because their parents got murdered in front of them." I was so focused on learning the mechanics of the game that the story of my dwarves happened right in front of me and I hadn't even noticed. So anyways, a while back I made a video titled Hard Games That I Don't Know How to Play Yet, and Dwarf Fortress was one of those games. My friend Spazzy caught the video and sent me a message saying, "Hey, have you seen this game RimWorld? It creates a story before you play and you're stuck on a planet. It's human though, not dwarves, but you can make beer." And I replied, "I haven't heard of it. Does it have graphics? That would be a nice change." Spazzy then sent me a gift copy on Steam and said Merry Christmas, so thanks Spazzy. RimWorld is kind of a construction management survival game. You play as some humans that land on a strange planet and need to survive. There are loads of things to make that survival difficult, from erratic weather, other civilizations, animals, illness, to accidentally stepping in your own traps. Be careful with your traps. When you start a new game of RimWorld, you are welcome to this screen where you select a scenario. This is sort of like choosing a difficulty level. After this, you pick a storyteller. Your options are Cassandra Classic, Phoebe Chillax, or Randy Random. This is also an opportunity to adjust the game's difficulty. Oh, and there's a permadeath option. Click that. Permadeath mode is best. And then, my friend, you get to create characters. This is an awesome feature. You select the characters you want to take with you to inhabit this new world. If you don't like what you see, you can click this randomize button. 56-year-old deaf slowpoke? Let's try again. A coma child who grew up to be incapable of cooking and has an alcohol addiction? I'll pass. Cat herder psychopath? No, get out of here. Kelsey Crane the abrasive machine collector? Not a psychopath cat herder. She's in. Glad to have you on the team, Kelsey. Click start and the new game begins. 3 lonely travelers dropped onto an alien landscape. It's time to work on survival. First thing we'll do is realize we need wood to build a wall. First thing we'll do is set up a stockpile zone to let our humans know where to store the loot. As the player, you don't have direct control over your characters. There are usually ways to manipulate the situation to get what you want though. Let me tell you about the time one of my characters was sick of looking at a naked prisoner and I had to figure out a way to have someone bring him some damn pants. Now that that's done, we can use the chop wood command in the orders menu to get our castaways to work and gather a basic resource. With this newfound wood, we will build some walls and beds. Speaking of beds, this game has a day and night cycle. I'm not a big fan of this mechanic. At night your characters sleep, so you speed up time to make this end sooner. My guess is there are no gamers out there saying, "Finally, some sleeping in a game. Watching my players doing nothing is realistic and rewarding." I hope this feature gets removed. The halted gameplay is frustrating. Maybe next game I'll force my humans to be Stimutac addicts. Actually, there is a drug called Wake Up. I'm not a fan of turning my team into drug addicts, but it sounds like more fun than pushing the fast forward button and staring at my screen. Now that we have a basic structure, our resources have protection from the elements. You see, items left outside will degrade over time. Next up, we'll need food. Just like setting the stockpile area, we pick a chunk of land and make it a growing zone. After creation, we open it up and select what we want to plant. The tutorial I played before had me grow rice, so let's do that again. Besides food items like rice, potato, or corn, you can also plant cotton to make clothing out of. Oh, and drugs. There are drug and alcohol plants. Some are for fun, and some are for healing. No judgment here. You play your colonists however you like. On to research. Build a research bench and occasionally someone will wander over and science some crap. You have a tech tree with loads of options to choose from. A quick note, while making this video I noticed a slider bar down there at the bottom of the research screen. I didn't know that was there when I played the game, so that will make my next playthrough more interesting. Besides the research bench, you have other production tables to build for crafting things like sculptures, food, clothes, and weapons. You have all of these tools available to make the survival of your colonists possible, but as the game progresses and gets more intricate, it takes some fine-tuning to keep these fools on track, which is where the work tab comes in. Sick of your only cook running off to the research bench to unlock the mysteries of bedrolls? Well, here's where you can go tell that guy, less thinking, more baking. I had trouble getting stone hauled back to the base before implementing this game feature. There are other tabs that will help you keep your colonists focused as well. The Restrict tab can be used to tell your people to stay indoors when there's a dangerous animal outside, for example. You even have control over limiting clothing options. As the game progresses and you unlock new traps, weapons, and armor, you'll want to keep upgrading and adjusting for potential problems. The random events that can happen throughout the game vary wildly. I've had situations that were a breeze to get through, like a lady with a knife coming towards my camp, obsessively stabbing one of my animals. 2 colonists with rifles behind sandbag walls took care of that lady no problem. And then there are moments like the time I awoke some alien creatures who had a bad attitude and a machine gun. I lost 3 settlers to that incident. These events are where the game really shines. After building a fort, setting up a farm, taking prisoners, and converting them into allies, you begin to care for what you've built. So when a request to leave your fort and fight in a different part of the world comes in, you have to think long and hard about it. Can I spare anyone? Should I send my best so that I'm more likely to succeed? Or should I send expendable psychopath cat herders that like to run around naked, which makes some of the other colonists uncomfortable? That, dear viewer, are the kind of questions you'll have to answer when you play. And you should play. RimWorld is a great game, and it's still in early access, so it can only get better, right? And that, dear viewer, is RimWorld for the PC. I liked it. I don't usually cover modern games or PC games. I don't have anything against modern games or PC games. It's not something I'm usually interested in talking about, but this one was really working for me. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, click like, subscribe. I put out a new video every Thursday, so stick around. I got more. If you want to watch my old videos, I always put something to click on over there, but you're probably on a phone. Everybody's on phones now, so touch. I guess just touch instead of click. Just touch that thing there. Feels good. It feels amazing when you touch it. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I'm done. Done.